Video is of the boycott campaign held in Brooklyn, New York. It was held on Coney Island Avenue for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sallallahu alaihi
wasallam. Prophet, and you should also send darud and salutation upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In next ayat, Allah Ta'ala makes it clear that Inna alladhina yu'dhuna Allah wa rasulahu, the one who harms Allah and His prophets, they should know that Allah had prepared for them وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا مُهِينًا, very severe punishment. And Allah Ta'ala makes it clear not only in hereafter, وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا, even in this dunya. So I would like to finish with saying our prophet, our pride, our pride, prophet of all mankind. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair, Qari, for these words of wisdom. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gathering us all here, united as one. We thank every one of you who came out today to show the world that it is not okay to demonize any religion and vilify its people anywhere in the world. Our history is full of examples that when it becomes okay to vilify and demonize any religion or its people, millions died and millions suffered because of ignorance and arrogance. As recent as World War II, we have seen that by not catching the disease of evil, arrogance, and ignorance early, millions of people have paid price in what we now know as the horrible and tragic event of Holocaust. We are all here for freedom of speech and freedom for all, but freedom of speech comes with responsibility and ethical and moral limits and boundaries. We condemn the understanding France has of the freedom of speech and expression, in which France thinks it's okay to demonize and vilify any religion or religious belief. For decades, Muslims in France has been victim of Islamophobia. Women cannot exercise their freedom to wear religious garments as France banned hijab and other head coverings. In schools and universities, it has become okay to make fun of Islam and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by making fun of him and demeaning cartoons. Today, Muslims all over the world not only condemn France for this, but is actively boycotting French products in protest of French hypocritical policies and leadership. We're saying it is not okay. Muslim finds it highly offensive and disrespectful that their religion is being attacked under the disguise of freedom of speech. This is not an accident, but a deliberate attempt to treat Muslims as second-class human beings in France while attacking their religion. We're very proud that in the United States of America, we have freedom of speech, but we are also highly respectful and mindful of religious sensitivities and practices. Today we will hear from Muslim leadership, our interfaith partners, and the elected officials that how important it is to safeguard, protect, and uplift millions of people who actively and safely practice their religion. Joining me is my honor to introduce to you who's been fighting for all in the New York City, the New York City Public Advocate, Jimani Williams.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings to everyone. I am sad but proud to stand here with you. I do want to make sure you recognize our Brooklyn DA Gonzalez, who's going to be here. And he is always on the right side of social justice and civil rights. Just yesterday, because of his work, he freed a man who was wrongly convicted of murder after many, many years. So I want to give him a round of applause for the work that he's continuing to do. You know, it's sad that we have to keep coming here. It's sadder that I don't see other communities here as well standing, and I wish we did, but I will always be here. You know, I always stand on the side of freedom of speech, and I always will. I also always stand on the side of religious freedom and sensitivities. And instead of the leadership taking a moment to talk about how we as a community can have freedom of speech while respecting the sensitivity of other cultures, what we have in France and sadly across other places is the exact opposite. And they are talking freedom of speech couched in the discussion of, couched in Islamophobia. And I've seen across many places, including this country, this president, and sadly, thank you, President Macron in France, doing everything they can to divide than to bring together people. And that's what frustrates me, because no one of good conscience would have tried to excuse violent behavior that they're putting this on. And instead of bringing all Muslims together and all people of France together to condemn a violent act, to use that to push Islamophobia, which has been pushed for so long. And it is in only certain religions that this has occurred. I have to say freely, if a white male Christian committed a crime over and over and used his religion as the reason, which has happened, no one would condemn all of Christianity. So why then do people try to condemn Islam for the act of one or two people? When people who worship and understand Islam understand means that the religion is people who submit to the will of Allah, who want to live in peace and tolerance. Instead of using this, we continue to divide. And as was mentioned, whenever we create a station of other, people die. We are still dealing with the impact of the African Holocaust here in this country and around the world. We understand the Holocaust that happened in Germany. We've seen what happens in places like Rwanda and others when we create an other in society. And so what we need are leaders here in this country, abroad in France, to bring people together. And that, of course, includes the beautiful religion of Islam. Speak to the people who understand Islam and ask them to join you in denouncing violence, and to speak about freedom of speech and what it means, and what it means to have tolerance and respect for everyone and everyone's religion. I'm going to continue to do that as long as we have to. But my prayer is one day we won't. Inshallah.
Thank you so much for watching our YouTube channel. Me and Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.